keep our fingers crossed and continue to watch events as they unfold, because all we know is that whoever is talking wants the best for Nigerian football and the best for the Super Eagles. Take a short break and we'll come back. We'll still talk Nigerian football. This time we'll talk about the local league. The Nigerian Professional Football League is due to start on the 6th of December. A lot of things have been happening. It's good to know that clubs have not been idle. They've been playing spirit of pre-season tournaments, and the ones that will campaign in Africa, talking about the contender competitions, are also preparing well. Shall we be talking about this as we count down to the commencement of the Nigerian Professional Football League on the 6th of December after this break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center, and moving on, we're talking about the Nigerian Professional Football League now. Austin, the good thing is that a date has been set for the league. The first round fixtures have been made, but then Nigerian clubs have been playing pre-season matches. You know, in Europe, this is what happens. It has not been the culture here in Nigeria. Though in recent times things have been happening, but this year there's been so much. We've had the Ogunjobi Gold Cup. We've had the Governor Yeson Wike Cup that was won by Rivers United. Yeah. We had the Ogunjobi Cup won by ABS. Yes, we have the Governor Azu Precision Tournament won by Eyimba. Yeah. So much competition happening. So what does this tell you about Nigerian league? It's like things are beginning to happen.
Yeah, it shows that we are beginning to get it right. And you know, all that I would say is, you know, attributed to the fact that, you know, football and sports activities have been under lockdown for too long, you know, due to COVID-19. So I think a lot of people were actually itching to see, you know, how you know, things are going to pan out. You know, how prepared, you know, these teams can be, you know, going into the season. I think a lot of people are actually, you know, trying to make this like a form of an awareness, you know, that, you know, what we are seeing over there, we can still replicate it here. And I'm so happy. You know, I saw that, you know, Enyimba FC they have a planned friendly against Akwa United, which is something I'm happy about. Tomorrow. Yeah, it's a very, very, I can say I can call it a grade A friendly, owing to the fact that they are going to play in the Champions League and, you know, playing against Akwa United, which they are a top team in the MPFL. So if you can play against Akwa United, you can assess yourself going into the, you know, CAF Champions League. So they know how prepared
and they just won the Governor Azu Championship over the weekend.
Exactly, against Abia Warriors, who are also, you know, good as well in the MPFL. So I believe it's a good one. You know, I think the pre-season matches should be able to, in a way, you know, cover up for those missed opportunities.
And Blessing, do you think that this is just a one-off? We know that, just like Austin mentioned, because of the lack of football activities over the since the beginning of the year, or since March, when the lockdown started, many teams are eager to play. Many teams are eager to test their strength because they've not been playing regular football, and probably that was why we're having an upsurge of pre-season tournaments this time around. But do you think that it's just a one-off thing, or this is something that you think has come to stay in Nigerian football, whereby before the season starts, just like it happens in Europe, we have pre-season tournaments everywhere?
Well, first of all, it's a good thing that the Nigerian Professional Football League is back after the postponements and after the series of COVID-19 issues, thank God football is back, and so many, players so far has waited for this opportunity, and is here once again. Let's enjoy the game of football, and the fact that teams will be competing against each other, especially teams from the previous what do I call it, even the relegated teams of last season, will be competing against each other, smaller teams and bigger teams. Let's just expect the best of the
yes, indeed,
Nigerian
because
league.
because even the tournament in the tournament in Ilori, that's the Gold Cup, was played between ABS and Ogombe United, the finals, and these are teams in the Premier League. ABS not I think is
in the
NNL. Yeah, so no longer in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So it goes to tell you that it cuts across all the strata, all the divisions of the Nigerian league. So everybody is getting busy, and also continental football will commence in Africa this weekend with the first round preliminary matches, and Nigerian teams are very much involved. Enyimba will be traveling to Burkina Faso to play against Raima, and Raima is a team that Enyimba beat at this stage of the competition last year. So I wonder why they are pairing them up again. So it gives Raima the opportunity to revenge. I know when the man is seeking for revenge, it's very dangerous. So I don't really fancy not that fancy Imba's chances.
Yeah.
That is, I feel for Imba because the CAF has given their opponent an opportunity to revenge, but that's just by the wayside. But like you mentioned, Imba have been involved in precision tournaments. They won the Konekwe Azo tournament, and they are playing against Akwa United, so they should be well prepared. So and they are leaving on Friday for Burkina Faso for that match. How do you see their chances? They are two-time African champions, African club champions.
When I see Enyimba, despite the fact that the changes, we know how Nigerian clubs are being run by government. But Enyimba is one team that has been consistent, one of the most consistent, football team in the last 10 years, if not more than 10 years. So I believe Enyimba anytime I believe they have the quality to put that game to bed. But one thing is that it's football. You can never say. You don't know what might happen. A lot of things, a lot of things, might swing a particular encounter in your favor or against you. So at this particular point in time, I believe the match against Akwa United will show the level of preparedness for this Enyimba team. It will show if they're actually ready to go into this Champions League game against Rahimo.
And in line with CAF requirements, they underwent COVID-19 tests yesterday, because now if you have to travel, you must have to be certified free of COVID-19. So Enyimba has done that already. They brought in a new coach, Godwin Nosike, to come and join the coaching crew headed by Fatah Osho. I think they say this is in line with CAF requirements that every coach must have a CAF CAF A license for anything competing in the continent. Must have a coach. The coach must have a CAF A license. I know that most Nigerian coaches don't really have that, so they had to bring in Nosike. So for the continental matches, it will be there with the team. I don't know about the league matches, but then they're very specific about the continental matches. So Enyimba seems to be putting everything in place. They've won the presidential tournament. They have a match against Akwa United tomorrow. Preparation. They are leaving on Friday. They have their travel arrangements made already. They have undergone COVID-19 tests. They brought in a new one to assist the technical crew. Can we say that this team from Abia State, once again, they are getting it right this time around? Can we look forward with great expectation to this year's CAF Champions League?
Yes, Enyimba FC, we should look forward to a great performance from them, judging by the fact that they are readily, prepared for every of their games, the game between Akwa United should have prepared they are, and their game ahead, you know. So we should expect the very best from India. They've been one of the league giants in Nigerian football. So
And also one of the
yes.
top teams in Africa, because like we said earlier, they've won the CAF Champions League twice. They won it back-to-back in 2003, 2004. And no, apart from Mayimba, Plateau United is also playing the CAF Champions League, to Nigerian representative. They'll be playing against Simba. They are playing at home, so we expect that Simba will be in Nigeria for that match. In the Confederations Cup, we have Kano Pillars and Rivers United. Rivers United will play in Equatorial Guinea, and they will be traveling to Equatorial Guinea for their own encounter. Well, that's it for the preparations for the Nigerian Professional Football League, and of course, talking about teams campaigning in the CAF competitions representing Nigeria. Still the Grand Sports Center. When we come back, we'll still talk more about the league, but this time we'll talk about some league in Europe, specifically the big three: the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, and the Italian Serie A. What's been happening there? What happened over the weekend? What are the big stories? What are the fallouts? What are we looking forward to? We shall be analyzing them when we come back from this short break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center, and we'll go straight to the weekend action from Europe. In England, we had quite some interesting results as Liverpool had one of the best outings this season. They beat Leicester by 3 goals to 0 at Anfield to increase their unbeaten run at Anfield to 64 matches. The last time they broke their own record of 63 matches at Anfield, which was set between 1979 and 1981. This time around, they've gone 64, one better with that 3-0 spanking of Leicester. Leicester going to that match where they're on top of the league table in England, and everybody thought that Leicester was going to give them a big fight. Incidentally, when their league run, when their unbeaten run ended in 1981, it was Leicester that ended it. So everybody thought that it was going to be deja vu, that was going to happen again. But then this time around, the Liverpool side, despite missing about 7 first-team players or first-team regulars, were just too much for Leicester on the night. Other results in England saw Fulham lose at home to Everton by 3 goals to 2. Sheffield United's woes continued. They lost at home again to West Ham. Somebody says the Blades, as they're called, they are very, very blunt this year. Very, very blunt Blades. And they lost at home. Only 1 point from 9 matches. Not too good. Not so good for Sheffield United. I think there should be cause for worry over there. Leeds United and Arsenal played out a 0-0 draw. Arsenal ended that match with 10 players. Newcastle and Chelsea got the weekend running on Saturday when Chelsea beat Newcastle by 2 goals to 0. Aston Villa lost at home to Brighton 2-1. Tottenham, who are leading the league table, beat Manchester City by 2 goals to 0, and Manchester United edged West Brom 1-0. Another controversial issue happened in that match. Well, Austin, I just read out the fixtures and the results of the matches. I talked about the Liverpool-Leicester match. Did Liverpool make a big statement by that victory over Leicester yesterday?
Yeah, I believe so. Reason being that, before that very game, a lot of people were talking about how Liverpool will be able to cope without, the likes of Virgil van Dijk, the likes of Gomez, the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Anderson was missing as well. Thiago Alcantara, Mo Salah. So with missing 7 players, they were still able to come out on top. And if you watch that game very well, it was like, nobody was missing in that team. You saw, how, I don't know, Jota, that man coming into Liverpool.
Jota.
Yeah.
How impressive has Jota been?
Like
4 goals in his first 4 matches at Anfield.
Yeah.
Then 8 goals overall in 12 starts. 12, not start. They have not even started most matches.
Yeah.
In 12 matches for Liverpool since he joined.
Yeah.
How impressive has he been?
I think I've been impressed with Diogo Jota. You know, he came in as, you know, though we all know him at Wolves, but not a lot has been said about him until that very move. So when he came to Liverpool, it was like, you know, he came as surprise. It came as a surprise
Or
to
is it
most
that
people.
because he's playing amongst better players now, so you're beginning to see more of his qualities?
Yeah, I think that he as a player, he has, you know, that quality. But then, you know, coming into a team where you have quality players, I think it's beginning to amplify, you know, that quality that he has.
Exactly. And the Blades, Sheffield United, they lost at home to West Ham, 1-0. They've had 1 point from 9 matches. They occupy the last position, bottom of the league. Chris Wilder, their coach. Is it, if it was Nigeria now, I'm sure that everyone says, sack. Chris Wilder is still very much in charge because he was one that brought them from the championship last year, and they did very well in the league last season. But this year things are not going so well. So is it time for Sheffield United to start bringing the changes?
Well, the game of football changes most times, you know. The fact that they're bottom of the league doesn't mean they can come up.
Just 1 point after 9 matches?
Well,
Is there still hope? These are early days though.
Well, I wouldn't say there's still hope, but at the same time, they could do better, you know, moving ahead.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Manchester United beat West Brom 1-0 controversially.
Yeah.
Penalty. It was, you know, saved and retaken. Somebody says it's only Manchester United that will be given awarded a penalty after the match has ended. So the Manchester United will get a second chance to play penalty.
Yeah.
Even when. So I don't know, but how did you say it all?
It don't have been said about Man United, you know, struggling to beat the West Bromwich Albion team, who.
And they had to be helped.
Yeah, they have to be helped.
But is there any element of truth in that assertion? Is there is there any reason for anybody to even insinuate that at all at the level of English professional league?
I believe it happens. You know, it can happen to any team. It can be in your favor. You know, I can't see.
Because yesterday Liverpool, Joe Matip had the ball hit his hand, and Leicester was actually shouting for penalty, but the referee turned his eyes.
Exactly.
And VAR did not even review it.
Yeah.
So could you say that even Liverpool were aided?
That's what I'm saying. It can happen, you know, to any team. You know, up against Man City, you saw the goal Man City scored when Kevin De Bruyne was asked. He said he does not understand the rule anymore. Well, it all boils down to the fact that, you know, we have technology in the game now. I think part of that is, you know, coming from the fact that, you know, the previous week something like that happened and that goal was allowed. So you can see, you know, these things happening. So that's why I'm saying it can happen against any team and it can happen for any team. So you cannot say because of the fact that it happened when a particular team played, that is, you know, you start attributing, you know, that to Manchester United. So I believe, you know, that's that. But one thing about Manchester United that I don't understand, you know, this season is the fact that, you know, they've been going on and off.
Well,
and
you keep on wondering until the manager somehow comes to let you know what is happening. Because actually, people are actually not too, their performance has not been too consistent, both in the league and the Champions League. Today they'll beat PSG, next day they'll lose to Istanbul Besiktas. So you could imagine the kind of fluctuating performance they've been having this season. But then they got their 3 points and it has pushed them higher up the table. One team that is not having the best of time is Manchester City. They lost to Tottenham. Tottenham really topped the table on goals difference over Liverpool. And Jose Mourinho is back on top of the English league for the first time after a long time. Should we really tip Tottenham to be there at the end of the day when the league champion is being crowned? Are they one of those that we can say are in the running for the title, or is it just some initial showing of themselves, as they will say?
Well, when it comes to running for the title, I can tip them to be like the top five. But when it comes to
Winning.
winning the title, then there will definitely be an issue.
Okay, so much about the English Premier League. We just noticed one thing that, the dust is beginning to settle, the chaff begin to settle, to separate from the grains, because previously, when you have matches in the Premier League this season, the younger teams or the so-called small teams, usually they go out there, beat the big teams. There was no big team anymore. Liverpool lost to Aston Villa 7-2, no longer news. But this last weekend saw the big teams actually getting the results. Begin to resemble what we are used to in the Premier League. Well, we're still early days. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see whether the COVID-19 effect, the big teams have shaken off the COVID-19 effect, which actually affected them at the beginning of the season. In Spanish La Liga, another big story, Barcelona lost again. Is it a big story these days, Barcelona losing?
It's no longer a story. It's something well
That become a normal thing.
Yeah, so Barcelona losing is no longer news. In the course of this season, I think they've lost more than 4 games already.
Oh, 3, 4,
and this is just the season just kick-started. So I believe at this point in time, they have to do the needful. They have to do the needful.
And what's that needful?
The needful is, right now they are looking for money. They are looking for how to agree with players on how to pay, cut down their wage bill, where you have Messi in the team. And Messi, by the end of the season, will definitely, he might leave, for free. So why keep him up to that moment when you have a need and you can use, that
money for the sale
yeah,
of
you
Messi.
can use the money for the sale of Messi, to cut down this
Austin, it's easier said than done. We can sit here in the studios of Grand Sport Extra in Abuja and talk about this, but obviously we don't want to be the one that's the president that will be noted as the one that sold Messi for Barcelona. I'm sure that because that is a very, very wrong news or something that nobody wants to be associated with, as they will now record, just like the goalkeeper called Barbosa, the 1938 World Cup that was won by 1934 World Cup that won by 1950 World Cup won by Uruguay. Brazil played Uruguay in the final, and Uruguay at the Maracana Stadium, over 100,000 people, 100,000 people, and the Uruguay won by 2-1, and the Brazilian goalkeeper in that match, Barbosa, we are told that till he died, anytime he's walking in the street, they will point at him. That is Barbosa, the goalkeeper that was in goal when Uruguay beat Brazil by 2-1. So I'm sure no Barcelona president want to be known as that is a president that sold Lionel Messi. Well, still on the La Liga, Real Madrid are not even doing better because they faltered. They had a chance to close the gap on Real Sociedad at top of the table, but then they had a goal early in the match against Villarreal. Then they were pegged back. They could not beat Villarreal, one of the top teams in Spain. So does it show that the level of dominance of Barcelona and Real Madrid, at least as far as this season is concerned, is actually winning or on the win?
Well, I will obviously want to rule out Barcelona out of this. I would stick to Real Madrid and Real Sociedad. Real Madrid obviously are a team that's, when it comes to getting top of the table, there's always this difference between them and Barcelona. But for now, I think I'll stick with Real Madrid. They lost, but at the same
they
drew. Okay, yeah, but I'll still stick with the fact that they are still,
the better position.
In better position.
Well, other results from La Liga saw Elba and Getafe play out in 0-0 draw. Cardiff and Real Sociedad beat Cardiff 1-0 away from home. They are already riding high, doing very well, having the best of season. And the engine room of that team is no other person than David Silva. He left Manchester City at the end of last season in a free transfer back to Spain and teamed up with Real Sociedad, and is the linchpin of that team, pulling the strings in the midfield for Real Sociedad. So far, they top the La Liga table deservedly because they've done very. If you watch their matches, they play very, very good football. Of course, anchored by David Silva. In other matches, Granada lost at home to Valladolid. That's a very surprising result. Alves and Valencia played at 2-2 draw. Sevilla and Celta Vigo, that match was live on Grand Sport Extra. Sevilla beat Celta Vigo by 4 goals to 2, while Atletico Madrid beat Barcelona 1-0, like we said earlier. Finally, on the league roundup, look at the Italian league. Fiorentina lost at home to Benevento, one of the newly promoted sides, by 1 goal to 0. Roma spanked Parma by 3 goals to 0. Inter Milan had the better of Torino 4-2. Sampdoria lost at home to Bologna 2-1. Sassuolo continued their good run. They presently occupy the second position. Sassuolo, small team in Italy, they beat Verona 2-0 away from home, so they are still occupying second position. Udinese picked Genoa 1 goal to 0. Crotone lost at home to Lazio by 2 goals to 0. Nigeria's Simi Nwankwo played in that match but was not able to save the day for Crotone. Spezia played a 0-0 draw with Atlanta, who are competing in the Champions League, while Juventus beat Cagliari 2-0. Cristiano Ronaldo was among the goals in that match. AC Milan, the big match of the weekend was Napoli versus AC Milan, and Milan went to Naples to beat Napoli by 3 goals to 1. They are topping the table. Austin have been talking about the resurgence of Milan this season. Milan used to be the main team in Europe, not just Italy, in the 80s, early 90s. Then there was a dip, then they had occasional fluctuating high-level performances, then drops and high-level, but now it seems that they are getting right this season.
Yeah. I think I will give credit to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Over the years, he has been able to prove his doubters wrong. When he went to the United States, a lot of us thought, that is it for him. Now he came back again, and he's doing wonders for this AC Milan team. He's scoring goals for fun, even at a very, very old age. Because at this point in time, most players, that's when their performance level start dropping.
So he's the main man?
He's the main man. But then we have another player in the team whom I like so much. Is an Ivorian, Kessie. Kessie is also doing well, yeah, for AC Milan. So I believe it's kudos to the coach of AC Milan. Also kudos to Ibrahimovic. That's what we are talking about. We have a leader. It's not just about leadership. Is not about age. It's about that respect the players around him, the respect they have for him, and then he demands more from those around him as well. So it improve the performance of other players. So that's what I'm talking about.
At 39 years old, Ibrahimovic is proving every permutation wrong. So at this age, players should be retired or getting set to retire, or play retirement football by dropping down the level, going to play in lower divisions where the standard is not so high. But Ibrahimovic at 39 years of age, he played at the highest level, Serie A. He's not only doing that, he's topping the scoring chart with 10 goals. He is the main person in AC Milan. Milan are topping the table. But then he was injured in yesterday's match, so most likely he will be out for some time. We don't know the extent of the injury. But how important is this man, Ibrahimovic, to AC Milan winning this Scudetto this season? Because it's obvious that everything in AC Milan revolves around him. Or is the AC Milan team just good, with or without Ibrahimovic?
AC Milan team is good, and Ibrahimovic is also good. He's also an inspiration to especially players, that would want to even, perform even better playing for AC Milan. I think looking at his age, he has proven to be a player that has the ability to do better, in as much as to show how much you love football, and in as much as you play the game of football. He is an experienced player, loved by so many, and players expect the very best from him, and we also want to, do much more better than expected.
Well, this is a very interesting Italian season, because for the first time since 2011, Juventus have been given a run for their money for the title. Apart from AC Milan topping the table, Sassuolo following them, there's also Inter Milan, who are doing very well. Of course, Juventus still in the mix. So this is one of the most open Italian league season in recent times. and we'll continue to keep our fingers crossed and watch events as they unfold. It's still the Grand Sports Center. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll talk some basketball and tennis as well. And if time permits us, we'll talk about Super Eagles players who scored over the weekend. We'll take that short break now. It's still the Grand Sports Center, and moving on, the Nigerian basketball national team will be involved in the AfroBasket 2021 qualifiers that will take place in Kigali, that's Rwanda, beginning from this Friday, from 27th to the 29th of this month. The Nigerian coach, who is an American, Mike Brown, is already in Kigali, and the first vice president of the Nigerian Basketball Federation is also there already. And the players, who are mainly foreign-based players, will be arriving Kigali straight from their base in the US and other parts of the world. So Nigerian team will be playing against South Sudan and Rwanda, the host nation, and Mali. And that competition, the top 3 teams will qualify for the AfroBasket Championship, which is like the African Cup of Nations basketball. And that competition will take place next year in Rwanda in the month of August. So, Austin, we've been here before, the Nigerian basketball team. Yeah. So, is there any cause for worry, anything to fear? Look at the teams: Mali, Rwanda, South Sudan. Any team that you feel will cause us problem in that group? You are playing in Group D.
I don't know, when it comes to basketball in Africa, you have the likes of Senegal, you have Angola. Then you talk about Nigeria. Nigeria is
North African teams,
yeah,
Egypt,
Tunisia as well. But the top. I'm talking about the top now. It's either Senegal or Angola. So, but at this point in time, I've never been more excited about basketball team going into AfroBasket, owing to the fact that they just brought in Mike Brown. He's somebody who is a top level manager when you're talking about basketball.
Of Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, he has won the NBA before. But what I'm excited about is the fact that for the very first time, we're going to have more than 5 NBA players in our team, and I know there are more to come. I think the appointment of Mike Brown, is beginning to resonate, and I don't know. I just want to see how that is going to transcend into the court. So I just want to see. I'm so excited going into this.
And apart from Mike Brown, like you said, some other Nigerian officials are also will be involved in the tournament as technical director, Colonel Sam Amadou, and we have 2 Nigerian referees that will be part of the qualifiers. We've talked about in the past, Nigerian administrators have talked about Nigerian officials being involved in the running of the game at the continental level, because they say that at that level, it's not just enough for you to have a very good team. If you don't have somebody in the technical area, politics may edge you out. Because I'm sure they know what they say when they are saying that, because some of us that are watching don't see those part of it, but a lot of I'm sure will tell you that. Also, the question is, with Colonel Sam Amadou being part of the technical team and 2 Nigerian referees for the tournament, although one of them will be going to Egypt because there's another group that will be playing in Egypt. This particular group, Group D, is playing in Kigali. How well does it tell of how far Nigeria has grown? Not just Nigerian basketball has grown, not just the team now, the Tigers are doing well, and also the growth of the technical officials, such that they are now found good enough to be part of big tournaments like this.
Well, Nigerian basketball have prolific players that's in for it, players that wants to, play the game. They've showed how prepared they are for the tournaments. So whether it's the technical from the technical team to the players, they've shown us that they are ready to, do or give us a better, a better result or give us a better feedback at the end of the day. So let's expect the very best from them.
Well, we hope that the Tigers, as the main basketball team is called, will do us proud in Kigali. We trust them, and we just hope that it will come up with very good result. In tennis, Andriy Medvedev is the talk of the day. He's won the last tournament of the year, which is the ATP final in London. He beat Dominic Thiem in the final. Dominic Thiem is the US Open champion, world number 3, and this is the first time they say a player in recent times has beaten the first top 3 players in the world in the course of winning a championship. Andriy Medvedev, did you actually, when we're talking about this tournament, likely winners, his name did not feature, did he?
Was not actually done it.
So what happened? He just got it right?
I don't know. Maybe in the course of the finals, maybe his confidence, got high, and he started believing that maybe you can actually win this thing. When after beating Novak Djokovic, I'm sure you have that confidence going into.
Okay. Now, could it be that that Medvedev, fine, give it to him, won the tournament, but could it be that Djokovic and Nadal of this world were not just up to it in this tournament? Probably their game was not just good enough. That was why he won. I'm not taking it away from Medvedev. Could it have been more due to the bad performance of Djokovic and Nadal of this world?
I don't think it's because of the bad performance. Like we've always said, it's an open competition. It's a group competition where you get to win or you get to lose or you get to play other players. Medvedev has proven to be a player who wants to move ahead of where he is at this point in time. So he played He played a good match, and he obviously won at the end of the day. For him to have beaten the third rank player in the world is
not just the third rank, the top on the way to winning it. You beat the number 1 Djokovic, you beat Nadal number 2, and the final they beat it number 3. So kudos to Medvedev. We hope that this is the beginning of so many other big tournaments to come for him. It's about time on the program, but before we go quickly, we'll just quickly give you a rundown of Super Eagles Watch verbally. We know that just so that we don't miss out on this big story, because some of these players, they did very well over the weekend, and will not be doing justice to them if we don't mention them on this program. We know that Paul Onuachu scored for Genk as they beat Moscow 4-1, his 10th goal of the season. Another Nigerian in the Belgian league is Ike Ugbo, who plays for Seckelbrugge. They beat Beveren 2-0. He scored both goals. He has scored 7 goals this season. Ike Ugbo is actually a loanee. He's on loan from Chelsea. He's a player of Chelsea, but on loan to Seckelbrugge. He has scored 7 goals this season. He scored 2 over the weekend. Taiwo Awoniyi scored for Hertha Berlin in German Bundesliga as they beat FC Cologne 2-0. His first goal this season in about 7 matches for the Berlin team. And wait for it, Frank Onyeka, the defensive midfielder, scored for FC Midtjylland as they beat AGF in the Danish Superliga. He scored and also provided an assist. They won that match 2-1. And Alex Iwobi was involved in Everton's 3-2 win over Fulham. He was deployed in a new position, right wing back, just like Peter Moses used to play for Chelsea. So he said his relation that prospect. Probably that's one area Benatroa should consider playing him in the Super Eagles. He did very well in that particular position. Sonny Aluko scored for Reading in the English Championship. They lost by 4 goals to 2 to Bournemouth. They led 2-0 at some point in that match, but Bournemouth came back and won 2-0. Another Nigerian playing for Bournemouth, Tommy Solanke, scored 2 goals in that match. So that's just a brief of some of the Nigerian players that did very well over the weekend. We continue to wish them well and hope that when they come back home to play for Nigeria, they'll also replicate this good form that they show in their various clubs. So this is where we wrap it up on the program. We'll be running up with today in sports history. We'll take that after we are closing formalities. Just as we quickly say from each of us here, we'll give our closing remarks. Austin Arome.
Yeah. I just want to say, just enjoy, the rest of the day, and let's see how this Afro basket qualifier. Let's see how it's
How it
going to
goes.
pan out.
And Blessing Bassing.
Yes, we wish the Tigers all the best in their competition.
I'm Donald Ababobo. On behalf of all of us here, enjoy the rest of the day. We'll leave you with Today in Sports History.